Hi people, Niner here. Today we are watching the video called Starsector Review Explore the Cosmos, Ruin Everything by sseth.
Hey people.
Seth here.
Hi sseth.
Starsector is an open-world space strategy game about
I got audio 100% on this game. Okay, this is gonna be complicated. Okay.
selling heroin and illegally harvested kidneys on the black market, making
Okay, I need subtitle for this too, just in case I need to Google something.
money off misery, disruption, and political unrest, and ambushing trade convoys in deep space just
Yo, sounded like a Warhammer 40k.
to watch a planet descend into chaos. I've been playing this game on and off for years now. It's amazing, yet I don't hear many people talk about it. Starsector is a massive project done entirely by 4 people, and it's had updates for about 9 years now, each one getting closer to their dream goal of simulating a living, breathing galaxy. Story. Okay, nobody gives a shit, so I'm gonna be quick. Right, so in Starsector, humanity figured out faster than light travel. We colonized thousands of worlds spanning hundreds of galaxies using the relays from Mass Effect, which were the only practical way of crossing galaxies.
They got a gate. Oh, the more we watch this, the more it sounded like Warhammer. Oh, they got a gate. They got a warp. Do they? And they conquer the galaxy?
They were the only practical way until suddenly, nobody knows exactly why, all the gate systems went dead. We can no longer reach the rest of humanity. This event is referred to as the collapse and marks the end of the prosperous domain era. In an isolated...
It also can be called as a Horus heresy. yeah. The gate are broken. Maybe just it's time for some grim dark future, isn't it?
As the collapse and marks the end of the prosperous domain era. In an isolated galaxy 206 cycles after the collapse, our story takes place. Common humanity has been replaced with ambition, desperation, and conflict. Our future is bleak, and we don't know what tomorrow might hold for us. Welcome to Starsector. Basically, everything's a piece of shit. We're in the galactic version of the Dark Ages, but it's super fun. Nobody remembers how to make anything anymore.
Yeah, we are in the Dark Age, but look like we have ships and rockets, and we are still fighting stuff. The last update was in April of 2025. Amazing! They're still doing it after 15 years? Crazy.
Mainly because of DRM and copyright laws. I'm not kidding, that is the actual in-game reason. We can't reliably make new ships or machinery because all the corporations put copy protection on their design chips. Anyway, in the chaos that followed, everybody broke off into their own respective factions and keep dick-waving each other. But ultimately, nobody can consolidate enough power to wipe out or unify the competition. However,
are we all still human in here, or are we evolving into different species? Do we still are similar to each other?
They didn't account for one thing. You, thrown into the space sandbox, you begin as nothing but a pilot with a small fleet. Insignificant in the scale of things, but given time, practice, and some high-level maneuvers, you could be the one person to unite the sector. Or reduce it to the Stone Age. Every faction is unique in their motivations, and it generally pays to be nice to them. That is, if they can be reasoned with. In no particular order, these are the Hegemony, which represent the combined remains of law and order from the domain era, the Persian League, which said fuck taxes and broke off from the Hegemony, the Sindrian Diktat, a military
I like the fuck taxes group, sound cool.
Dictatorship, which also said fuck taxes and broke off from the Hegemony.
Another one!
Corporation, which represents the R&D business interest of Tritachyon Incorporated, the mega corporation responsible for pioneering unregulated AI technology. Conversely, there's the Luddic Church, who are subhumans that believe the collapse was God's punishment for molesting the stars, and that artificial intelligence is literally
the
electronic Satan.
No taxes, best taxes. True. I cannot agree with you because of all the reason I have to be like, yes, we love tax, we pay tax, but true. Gotta serve the Omni Messiah.
are considered the moderates. Then there's the Luddic Path, a sect of fundamentalist space jihadists that believe the answer to man's technological hubris is rampant terrorism. Everyone hates the Luddic Path, and the Luddic Path hates everyone. And finally, pirates. These are self-explanatory and quite consistent with their ideology. You have stuff I want, so I'm going to kill you. Or you don't. I'm going to kill you anyway for the hell of it. Your relations and interactions with each of these factions will determine the fate of the galaxy. Anyway, gameplay.
Okay, from the short introduction, I like the ones that decide to fuck up everyone and don't care about anything. The one before the pirate. I like them.
Things a wreck, tensions are high, but most of all, there's profit to be made. Mostly everything in Starsector revolves around money or credits. These are effectively space bitcoins and are universally accepted everywhere. Most of your time, as with real life, will be spent figuring out how to make as much money as possible. You can see why I love this game. It runs in my blood.
We like big numbers, remember? The more member is our dopamine boost. Numbers. Why I cannot do English today? Like the English I speak, I'm thinking about something and I say something else. But I like to see the number grow, okay? That is also in my blood. I like to see that. The Luddic Path, fundamentalist space terrorist. Well, if you say it like that, I cannot say I support their group, but hey. You know.
Starting fleet is very small. You can't really fight most enemies, but you are fast and burn very little fuel to get around. The only means of interstellar travel in Starsector is by diving into hyperspace and burning through metric tons of antimatter fuel to reach distant stars. So the size and composition of your fleet is important for fuel economy.
Oh, there's so many stars.
You should always watch your fuel tanks and pray you never run dry while in the middle of deep space, because once you go dry, your fleet will be pulled into the nearest gravity well, which, if you're unlucky, might be a red giant. If you're very unlucky, a black hole. So, at the start, I recommend you do planetary surveys and exploration contracts. These don't require much investment, just patience and nerves of steel. Sometimes, while exploring deep space, you might hear distress signals.
Originating the Delta Para-Tartari star system, distress call. Sounded like a trap.
We ignore those. Just ignore them. Contracts are offered to you by intel frequencies from different factions and planet administrators. How close you are to the nearest communications relay will decide how quickly you hear about it, since transmissions travel in real time. You should generally be very quick about grabbing these. Space is busy, and contracts can be withdrawn or taken by somebody else without notice. With money to spare, you can go ahead and actually invest into your own ships. And let me tell you, there's a lot of ships that
they're so fancy! I like this one! The large one! Yo, that looks cool.
There's a lot of ships to choose from, with different roles, specifications, and hull sizes. This ranges from the smallest frigates to capital-class ships, which take up most of the screen. It doesn't end there. Every ship can be modified, outfitted, and equipped with weapons respective to the type and size of the mount. There's a
lot of customization too. It's also a very mod-friendly game. I can see that. I can see this has a lot of potential for local customizing.
A lot of crazy setups. You can even make huge modifications to the hull to completely change your ship's behavior. For example, let's say you want your cruiser to act as a makeshift carrier. You can convert their cargo bays to accommodate fighter squadrons instead. Some factions also cook up their own modifications. Pirates don't have top-of-the-line equipment, so they improvise. For this reason, the Pirates' capital class ship is a stolen cargo freighter ripped apart and stitched back together with as many guns as they could possibly hold.
Yo, sounded like the space orc.
The Luddic Path follows the same philosophy of DIY hull mods, but they don't care about coming back alive.
Oh no!
So, they take captured fuel ships, override the safety settings, and turn it into a gigantic battering ram. And it's absolutely terrifying when you realize it's burning towards you at full speed. The amount of customization is insane, and you can do this for every single ship in your fleet. Combat takes place automatically.
Yo, can you make a big ship look like a bird? Can you have any type of customizations and oh, you can make a peanut ship, but you can make a peanut ship. So probably nut ship.
Of your fleet responding to orders to the best of their ability. They're actually quite good, until you get a reckless officer who decides that the best defense is a good offensive ramming maneuver. However, you pilot your flagship directly. It takes some getting used to. Every ship generates flux whenever they shoot or absorb damage, so you'll have to manage or vent the extra flux into space to avoid overloading your system and leaving yourself open to attack. The same goes for enemies. As if all of this wasn't already too much to take in, every ship
This game satisfies me already. I see all this number changing. I like it.
type has unique specializations. For example, phase class ships can't use shields. Instead, they can do this, which moves the ship safely into an alternative dimension where time flows much faster. Combine that with my favorite ship in the game, the Starsector equivalent of Killer Queen, and you've got a ship that can turn anything into a bomb while hiding inside another dimension. I don't have to explain shit. It just works. Combat is amazing once you figure it out. It's simultaneously the hardest and most satisfying component of the game. Luckily, your capital is not at risk. All planetary stations offer combat simulations to test your design. However, you'll need a lot more money to get to that point, so you'll need to work with the game's economic system.
Yeah,
Yes,
what's the fastest way to get rich here?
this game has a fully simulated real-time economy. Every colony produces, demands, and consumes different resources and needs a constant stream of trade traffic to stay functional. The resources needed depend on the industry. For example, mining. Mining is very depressing, so miners consume a lot of heroin to numb the pain of being a miner. A mining
For free? Wait, does it mean I become a miner here? I get free drugs? Not a bad deal. I'm thinking about this life. I downloaded this game and sat there in the menu for hours before dying to the basic pirate fleet. It's okay. It happens. Sometimes games are for watching, not for playing. For silly brain like you and me, okay? I will just watch this. Smuggling gun and drug to pirates and pass are the fastest way to make money. You cannot do it for free.
colony's output stagnates if the smuggled narcotics cannot meet demand. Each time you enter a marketplace in the game, you can pull up the entire market data, see consumers, producers, market shares, and relative prices across the sector. But making a profit isn't that easy. The open market is subject to a massive trade tariff of 30%, which can quickly cut into your margins.
This is really hitting the tariff of 30%. This video from 6 years ago is hitting nowadays. Tax write-off for drugs. Yeah, remember you can write off your tax for drug, like chat, for real, not as a joke. You can write off your medical expenses for your tax. Okay? Tax season soon.
So, we don't trade on the open market, we trade on the black market. Smuggling shit planet to planet completely sidesteps paying taxes and lets you deal in highly illegal contraband like combat mechs, AI cores, harvested organs, and every drug you can think of. However, the life of a smuggler isn't that easy. Smuggle too much and your suspicion level increases, which means patrol fleets are more likely to do random stop searches. Sometimes they find nothing. Sometimes they find all of your contraband, destroy it, and hurt your reputation. I still remember the moment I was amazed by this game. I was about to be stop searched by a random patrol, so I thought, hey, let's just eject all of
Why in such chaotic universe there are still police? Who is the governor here? Who is governing the whole universe? It's tax season for every month for me? Oh no.
my drugs out into space, so I got stop searched. They found nothing, as expected. Then the patrol officer said, hey, you're all clean. By the way, we scanned some cargo pods floating around nearby, and you know what? They're filled with illegal shit, but it's not yours, right? So we'll just confiscate these and destroy them. This game thinks of everything. So, to smuggle effectively, let me teach you the tricks of a trade, which conveniently are the same tools you'll use for navigating space. Number 1. In civilized space, everyone has to have their transponder on. This is your fleet identification. It's illegal to go without it, but it makes it very obvious when you're doing shady business. The detection range of your fleet depends on your surroundings. A nearby asteroid field is the perfect place to hide. Once inside, we kill our transponder and go dark. Going dark means running engines on minimal power, which reduces your heat
Actually smart. Hello?
signature and makes you very hard to detect. Doing this, we quietly approach planets and do business anonymously, so the authorities can't trace it back to us. Number 2. If you get jumped by patrols or spotted, hit the emergency burn and outrun them. If they're too close, there's a chance they'll try and fire off an interdiction, which temporarily fries your burn drives. If this happens, you're screwed. But we've got another trick up our sleeves. Number 3. Transverse jumping. The most essential skill you can learn as a fleet commander, which lets you jump right into hyperspace without using a jump point. It's highly illegal, it takes a while to charge, but it lets you dab on patrols before they can reach you. With all of these,
So far I learned the speed is everything. You just gotta outrun the police.
tools, you should be able to make fat stacks of cash. Now, of course, regular smuggling is fine and dandy, but the big profits are taken from trade contracts, as they often pay several times the market value, provided you can deliver on time, or just hang around the local bar. At the end of the day, it turns out the best vehicle for human business is alcohol. This game is constant management, planning, and
Not drug.
calculation. Sometimes things don't go as planned or get thrown off by factors outside your control, but these can also be exploited for your own gain. Let's say a system has been targeted by pirates. Smuggling is rampant. Trade convoys are going missing. This is terrible.
That's bad.
However, it's also terribly profitable for you. The more desperate a system gets, the cheaper they'll sell their exports, and the higher they'll pay for imports to stabilize the market. You could even go one step further. Why not take advantage of it?
You can control the market by playing within the rules. Or play with the rules. Oh.
Trade surplus, buy off the excess, and smuggle them back to the pirates. Pirates have terrible trade routes and will gladly pay good money for marines, mechs, and narcotics. War and conflict is just business after all. In this game, morality doesn't pay. Opportunistic pragmatism does. When your business relation sours or ceases to be profitable, offer to take the bounty contract for that same group of pirates, blast their station into orbit, and receive even more money and praise from the faction that posted the contract. You'll come back a celebrated hero, and lower ranking officials will generally stay out of your way. You're a smuggler, you're doing illegal shit, but you're also helping us out, so we'll turn a blind eye for now. You can also do the same for the Luddic path. Who knew that arming radical space terrorists could be so profitable? This game is amazing, and with the latest update, you can go even further. With so much wealth and power, why not start exploring the far sectors of space? It's mostly filled with dead rocks and all sorts of...
There's just so many. The map is so grand. Is this like a sandbox game? Like you can keep going for infinite? There is literally no border. You can just going and going and going.
Natural and unnatural cosmic horrors like neutron stars, black holes, and even worse, the
Oh no! What's happening? Chaos?
But somewhere in all that chaos, you might get lucky. You might find a planet that's actually good, not too much unlike Earth. So you run a survey, send an expedition, and hey, what do you know? It is a damn good planet. So why not colonize it? Start your own colony, form your own faction, invest back into the colony, attract more people, and grow the population.
We can build a kingdom. Oh.
Build heavy batteries, orbital battle stations, and patrols to secure your domain. Expand aggressively. Announce that your station is now an open port. Profit from your own black market. Start an organ harvesting operation. Take so much of the illegally harvested organ market share that other factions get jealous and try to fuck you over with red tape, bureaucracy, and trade disruptions to prevent you from getting ahead. Subvert their plans by bribing their commanders. Become an industrial powerhouse. Get targeted by pirates for being too prosperous.
They hate us because they are not us, okay? Literally, we are too successful, so they hate us.
targeted by the space jihad for being too industrial. Get targeted by the hegemony because they realize why you're so successful. Because your colony isn't run by humans.
Huh?
No, all this time your colony has been run by an alpha core, an artificial intelligence that overshadows the decision-making abilities of any human. In Starsector, using an AI is completely illegal. Using an alpha level AI is extremely fucking illegal. But as long as you keep bribing their military, they can't do anything. Eventually, decide that having an AI isn't worth the trouble. Try and pull it out. But you can't because it's missing.
What?
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Who took it?
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
Realize that the AI already anticipated this. Get blackmailed by your own AI, who threatens to tell every faction in a sector that you've been using AI technology if you try and disconnect him.
Oh, come on! We're being blackmailed by our own AI? Who can anticipate that? Who can imagine that? You know, like 20 years ago, the movies I saw, all the sci-fi are already telling that story to us. AI are scary, one day they will take over, and now that, you know, all that.
Do it anyway. Plunge your empire into total war. Raid the other factions and steal their copyright-protected blueprints.
Nice.
Watch them get obliterated by their own ship designs. Cripple their military. Propose a ceasefire. Receive no reply. Order a saturation bombardment on every core world. Condemn millions to their death. Win.
Wow.
Decommission every AI core and throw them into the sun. And consider what you've done. Then, put one final bullet in the chamber. Hold the barrel against your temple and shoot. Starsector. It's a lot of fun. Surely, Seth, there's nothing more to say, and you've covered everything. Wrong. This game also has its own active...
Can you actually do that in the game? Actually, is there chaos? Is there demon here? Is that why we never ever rescue those ships?
modding scene, which adds dozens of new ships, weapons, and factions into the mix. There's even mods which merge them all together, letting new factions trade and interact with the rest. After finishing the base game, mods can keep you entertained with an entirely new game altogether.
Nice.
Sometimes the developers even incorporate mods into the main code if they're that good. Oh yeah, this game also works on Mac and Linux. This is probably one of the best products I've ever bought, and it only cost me $15.
Not
They
bad.
make you use some old-ass website from the 2000s to get your CD key and download link, but hey, it works. I can't really complain about something I've played for several hundred hours, nor something that keeps getting updates yearly. My only criticism is that chasing enemies or getting into a fight can take a long time if you're flying the larger ships, but again, this is something I fixed with a single mod. In an industry where you're piled on constantly with mediocrity, garbage, and bloated design, this is something put out by a few guys that puts AAA studios to shame. I give it a 10 out of 10. I'm completely biased and I don't care. Starsector is a beautiful game and I thoroughly recommend it. Go buy it. And if you're not sure, go try it. Here's my actual CD key.
Really?
There's downloads below. You can smack it in there. Enjoy. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the many members of Merchants
you,
Guild
members.
generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one. All right, roll the credits.
$15 is crazy, Chad. Like you all see the game nowadays, every single game easily costing $50, okay? $60. Like those AAA games, those big company games. And then you played it and you'll be like, huh, that's it? That's it? And this is only 15. This is selling to me, man. This is making me want to try it. His CD key still actually works too, by the way. Yo, really? I used his code for the game for several years. I will write this down in my notebook. I will give this a try too. Bam 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 bam. Starsector download. Highlight this note. Niner download Starsector. Will do. And by the way, they're still updating this until today. Remember? They're still updating until a few months ago. After literally like 15 years, they're not giving up. Yeah, $90 game are making gamers have to mine for hidden gems like this one. I know, right? Older game costing only $15 work perfectly fine and have also modding and have a community and they're still making it better. That's crazy. The game of the year with DLC included cost $80 for physical, which is just insane. Oh. That making my face feeling disgusted. I mean, I understand that it's not easy to make a video game nowadays. You need a whole company, you need labors, you need to buy licenses. But brother, we also have a game with 4 developers, and the result is also very beautiful. Now I have money, I might pay full price. Yeah, go for it. Anyway, chat, that's a lovely watch, and I really enjoy that. Mwah! I will see you on the next video.